Here we're going to take a look at Pony Rides to Go, the project that you need to do for Accounting 101. If you take a look on shared files in Campus Cruiser, you will find the Pony Rides to Go project. You can read yourself the instructions. This is a narration telling you that you are the new bookkeeper for Pony Rides to Go and that you're going to be doing transactions on a 1-month accounting cycle for the month of November. And we'll go through the whole process of analyzing, recording, classifying, summarizing, and reporting. A couple of things that as we go through here that I would like to point out. You are going to be giving me journal entries on your journal paper that will need to be submitted. I'm going to put dots on them where things are wrong, and you will have to correct them. But then when you send me the entire project, if you give me the entire project in person, then you will need to submit them in a folder. Okay. This also tells you what pages that your general journal is going to start on. If you submit them online, then you will not obviously need a folder. I will just take a look at them online. You may do so by doing your journal entries and scanning them on a scanner and send them to me as a PDF or JPEG. You may do it by using the journal pages that I put on shared files, and you can type on those, save them as Word documents, and submit them in Campus Cruiser under My Assignments. Or you can hand me in a folder all of your handwritten work, and I will take it that way as well. So whichever way works best for you. This section on the first page also talks about your receipts and your payments and how to handle them. In some aspects, I have put in sentences just to make things look a little more realistic, but is not actually what you'll be doing. So, but you can assume that any money that is coming into the business is being deposited. So every time money is coming in, you're not only going to have to make a journal entry to debit that money, debit at the cash account, which means it's depositing into the checking account. You're also going to have to keep up a check register. The check register will show all deposits into the bank account and all checks written that are coming out of the bank account and a running total balance. So that will need to be kept up, as well as your journal entries every time a transaction involves cash. This also shows you that the first check available in the checkbook is number 2265. So you'll be able to, as you are writing those checks in the check register, you will give them each a number. That check number also needs to go in your explanation on your journal entry. There's a petty cash drawer that you're responsible for. There's $50 in the fund, and at all times the drawer should add up between cash and vouchers or receipts to the $50. You will not need to debit or credit petty cash at any time because the fund is already set up. But you will, every time you come to a petty cash voucher in the transactions, you will need to record that on a petty cash register. Later, I'm going to tell you to replenish the petty cash fund, and at that time, you will total your petty cash register, and you will make a journal entry for the replenishment. Please be sure to make sure that you look at Chapter 7, Part 2 PowerPoint so that you know how to do that when the time comes. Payroll. As far as payroll is concerned, Camille, the owner of the company, will be doing the payroll for you. So you will see a payroll register with all the information already on it. But you do have to make the journal entry for those payroll checks that go out. So there's a payroll register that will show the totals, and you're going to use those totals to make your journal entry. You can review the PowerPoint for Chapter 8 as to how to make that journal entry. There's also the journal entry for the employer costs of payroll, which is also calculated for you and put on the payroll register. So every time you hit a transaction that says we're doing payroll, you've got two journal entries. One that uses the totals of the payroll register, and one that uses the employer costs that are also calculated on the lower part of the payroll register. Okay, this page talks about the fact that you'll need to journalize and post all the transactions. Right now, at the beginning, you just need to journalize. No posting should be done at this point. After you journalize all your regular transactions from the 1st of November till the end of November, you're going to hand me those, and I will put dots at everything that's wrong. If you go ahead and post things that are wrong, you're going to have a mess to try to fix it. So just journalize it now. You'll hand those to me, and then you can correct anything that's wrong on your journalizing before you go forward with posting. When you do go forward with posting, you'll put those on general ledgers. You can use the general ledger sheets that I'll have on shared files. I will get them up there before it's time for you to post, and then you can post everything, and then I will also be giving you at the same time the bank statement, and that's the next thing on this page, that you will have to do the reconciliation and any journal entries necessary for that. But I will give you the bank statement at the time that I give you the general ledger sheets. Adjusting entries. You're going to learn in Chapter 5 about adjusting entries. Adjusting entries are listed at the very bottom of your transactions. However, again, right now you're going to ignore that until you actually get all your regular transactions, including your bank reconciliation and your petty cash replenishment, done and posted. Then finally you will go and start on your adjusting entries, which have been given to you again at the bottom of the transaction section. Then you will actually make a worksheet, a 10-column worksheet like we learn in the last half of Chapter 5. After that, you'll use your worksheet to do your financial statements and your closing entries, including a post-closing trial balance. So when you give me the entire project at the end of the semester, you're going to give me your journal entries, your general ledger with all your posting in it, You're going to give me your petty cash register, your check register, your bank reconciliation, your adjusting and closing entries, your worksheet, your financial statements, and your post-closing trial balance will all be together in a folder or submitted online. At the bottom of this page, we talk about Dr. Dooley's honesty policy. Enron, which you have probably heard of, October of 2001, caused a huge problem, and because of that, I do not tolerate dishonesty in any way. So if I find out that you are copying from one another, copying from someone else, copying from the internet, all people will get a 0 that are involved. You will automatically be thrown from this class. I have 0 tolerance for dishonesty and copying. You may, however, work together in such that you can ask each other what you're going to do for this or that particular transaction, and that's perfectly fine. You're also welcome to come to the tutor, Miss Trey Hullings, or Mr. Herman Smith if you're part of the TRIO program. You can come to me at any time. Any of the tutors or myself do not expect you to come and you've done nothing and put no thought into it. You have to show us what you've done, and we will help lead you to the correct journal entries or etc. Ms. Trey Hullings typically has a group of people in the library or the Tourville lab working on their project together, and that is perfectly fine. You, however, may not have someone do an entry and you copy it down. You're going to give me many pages. I will be able to find, and I always do. Every semester, some people get a 0 and do not pass this class because of copying. So please do not let that be you. The next page shows the chart of accounts, and this is the accounts that you must use. You may not add accounts or delete accounts. Some accounts you won't use until the very end when you're doing adjusting entry, so don't get frustrated if you don't think you're using all the accounts. This is the post-closing trial balance. So this is the balance at the end of October, which becomes your beginning balances for November 1st. In particular, for your check register, notice that there's $4,220 in your checking account to start the balance out on November 1st. These are also the beginning balances that you will put into your general ledger sheets when we get to the posting time. Here we get to the very first transactions. Please now go to the second video, part 2, where we will discuss these transactions.